I'm talking with Bruno Škvor. He's from Bitfalls, a company which basically is busy with Ethereum development, smart contracts. He's from Croatia, and I knew him because he had a podcast of Software Engineering Daily, which is really a fantastic podcast, which I listen to all the time about technical stuff. He talked about the pump and dump and the whole ICO states, and he was very critical of that industry. Richard, you are a programmer, you do smart contracts, you work in the industry. How did you get into this pump and dump article which you wrote?
Well, I was investigating some of the other coins for their technical merit, and that's when I ran into Verge, which was back then rather new still. Mm-hmm. And then I noticed that John McAfee, who was kind of a big shot in the 90s with his McAfee antivirus firm, promoted the coin on Twitter, and the coin shot up in value several 100% in the course of a few hours. And I knew McAfee, and I knew that he hadn't done anything technical for at least 10 to 15 years, so I knew that he wasn't capable of kind of judging adequately the technical merits of this coin. So this kind of drove me to be kind of suspicious, and I looked at a few of the other projects. So this led me to a pump and dump group, which I didn't know it was pump and dump group at the time. I only recognized it later. And then I realized that that's where these things happen, where a team kind of collaborates on pumping the price of a coin up to a specific value, and then lures innocent bystanders into buying that higher value coin now, just to kind of pass their bags on to them. So the new buyers become the bag holders, aka they buy an overpriced coin. So I started hunting these pump and dump groups because it kind of piqued my interest. Mm-hmm. I got into a few more of them, and then I found this one fresh group that just appeared, and I got in on the ground floor, and that's the group that I described in the article that I posted, where I was actually able to determine that there were 5 of these hierarchical circles where the core is the people who know which coin is going to get pumped. Mm-hmm. The other level is those who have paid the core members to tell them in advance. The other ones are those who have paid but are not going to be told as soon as the others will be, and so on and so forth. So it's a really interesting hierarchical structure of just basically mutual fraud.
And quite sophisticated, yeah. And it's, of course, totally forbidden now in shares, but it's completely legal. It's not legislated whatsoever. So that is one thing which is really interesting, and we see it every day, the pump and dump examples. Then if you look at the state of the ICO industry, which exploded since June last year, and now we have thousands of ICOs. You also looked at the quality of those ICOs. How would you analyze them at the moment?
Well, we actually get hired by some private investors sometimes to look at ICOs, mm-hmm. where it's more it's less risky for them to give us a small percentage of their intended investment and then just lose that, rather than invest blindly and lose everything. So what we do there is we just take a huge chunk of time and devote that time to just investigating that one ICO and its members. And there are several methods that we employ here. One is digital forensics, where we track the addresses associated with the ICO, even during the pre-sale stage or even during the announcement stage when they just publish the address of the smart contracts and so on, if they do that. Mm-hmm. But mainly, a lot of the times, all that you need to do is just investigate the members, and you get to a really clear picture. I can't even tell you how many times we've had literally right-click a member's image in the team page and select search Google with image. And half the time, it turned out to be someone from a stock photo website. They just take the most trustworthy-looking people, so white people in suits and ties, and smiling, well-lit, well-groomed and so on, and they put those people onto the page. They invent a generic name, Mick Johnson. They give them a title like PhD in Applied Mathematics of Engineering of something and something, And 90% of the modern ICO investors never look past that team page as presented.
Okay.
Because they've never seen those people, they never doubt that they're not real. And then in some cases we've had to dig deeper, and it turned out that there's actually a lot of websites which sell well-aged Facebook and LinkedIn accounts. And you can buy several $100s per account, depending on the account's quality. What sets them apart is the fact that when you look at those accounts, that the images in their albums on LinkedIn or Facebook, on Twitter, whatever, they're quite unique. These pictures appear only in those accounts, and for all intents and purposes, those accounts are truly real. It doesn't matter that they are fake people, but their accounts are very real because these are intricate networks created for that purpose of reselling old accounts that look legit. I have no idea why these accounts existed before the ICO craze, because these accounts are 6 to 7 years old. But they did, and these people who have been farming them since then are making a nice bit of money.
Yeah. So I mean, but that is all. I mean, that's all the category scam, right? Or is it also so? What percent of, if you take 1,000 ICOs, what percentage do you think are scam? What percentage do you think have a stupid idea and a stupid team but are trying? Some of them, which percentage are just people who are just thinking, hey, I can make a bunch of quick money, and what percentage are serious teams and what percentage are high quality?
It's hard to gauge, but I think maybe up to 30% are genuine efforts. And by genuine efforts, I mean not only people who are optimistically trying to do something, but people who optimistically understand that it is possible. Up to 60% maybe. There are those people who think a blockchain may be beneficial here and need it, but they're delusional about it. They intend to use the blockchain as a database for their project when it makes no sense, because it's the slowest database in the world, and it's not efficient, and it's just not a good database. And then I think that ambition of theirs is a little spiced up by the allure of hype and money. Maybe not so much money in most cases as hype, because they know that as soon as they stick blockchain onto the project's name, it's gonna get hyped up. So I think there's a good section of ICOs that's just suffering from this mass delusion that the blockchain is a magical silver bullet that's gonna solve all of IT's problems at once.
And the real fraud is about 10 to 15%.
Yeah, it's something like that. Yeah, not a lot of people would actually dare risk their identities online and just go with an all-out fraud. Most of those can be easily traced, and most of those are not arrested because they don't actually gather as many funds as they would, as they intend or as they think is possible. Sure, some runaway successes are an option, like the Japanese exit scam that recently happened for $660 million.
Wasn't that Vietnamese? The
Vietnamese, sorry,
Vietnamese scam. Yeah. 700 million,
yeah.
my God.
$700 million. So, yeah, such exit scams, I guess, are still possible, yeah. But now, in this world where the media publishers have declared war on all things crypto, which I also think is a very bad move, because they are doing more harm than good.
Yeah, that's the other way. But I mean, it is 10 to 15%. Okay, so now we're going to have a nice conversation on that on June the 7th, because what we want to do is, of course, figure out, hey, what's real, what's useful, and on the other hand, what's scam and what's stupid, and how can you, the most important thing, how can you recognize it? So I'd like you to focus on that on June the 7th. All right, so that's going to be a great talk on the stage.